Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something fundamental, something we all experience, aging. But maybe not in the way you think.
That's right.
We're not just talking birthdays here. We're digging into some really compelling source material that suggests, well, that fatigue, how you look, even your lifespan, it might all boil down to just one thing.
It's a fascinating concept.
Hmm.
The sources argue that, the usual health markers, your age, BMI, cholesterol, all of that, they're actually secondary.
Secondary, so what's primary?
The real driver, they claim, is this single chemical metric. It's cumulative. They call it the Toxin Saturation Ratio, TSR for short.
TSR. Okay, and let's be clear, this isn't some kind of wellness metaphor, is it? They're presenting this as a measurable physical thing.
Oh, absolutely. Cold, hard measurement.
Sure.
The whole idea we're unpacking today is that your aging process, how fast or slow it happens, is directly tied to the buildup, the concentration of toxins inside your body.
Okay, so how do they measure it? What's the actual formula for this TSR?
It's pretty straightforward, actually. You take the body's total toxin amount, everything accumulated,
Right.
and you divide that by what the source calls the individual tolerance limit.
Individual tolerance limit. Now that seems crucial. If the top number is the amount of, well, poison,
Yeah.
what sets that tolerance limit? Is it just genetics or
Yeah.
or something else?
It seems to be a mix, but the sources emphasize organ function. Your ITL is basically the capacity of your main detox pathways. Think liver, kidneys, skin, lungs,
Yeah.
to handle that toxin load,
Oh, okay.
to process and get rid of it before things start breaking down.
Yeah.
So the ratio, the TSR, tells you how much buffer you have left, like
Yeah.
an internal safety gauge, really.
A safety gauge. I like that. Okay, let's make this concrete. What does this gauge look like in real life? If it's a tank filling up, where are the warning lights? What do these TSR numbers mean for, how someone actually feels or looks?
Yeah, the research lays out three key thresholds that paint a pretty clear picture of biological decline, let's say. So first, the ideal state. That's someone with a TSR around 0.2, only 20% saturated.
Right.
This person looks young, feels stable mentally, clear skin. That's the baseline, the target.
And then what happens as we live life, I guess? Get older, feel those energy slumps people just blame on age.
Exactly. When that ratio hits 0.7, so 70% saturation, the body's under serious strain. And the symptoms are things often just brushed off as getting older.
Like what specifically?
Chronic fatigue that doesn't go away with rest,
Yeah.
persistent insomnia, memory getting fuzzy,
Yeah.
and a really specific physical sign. The skin starting to look dull or yellowish.
Mm-hmm.
The sources insist this isn't just cosmetic. It's the system screaming for help, basically.
Okay, and the final stage, you mentioned a point of no return. When TSR goes above 0.9, what does that look like?
Yeah, the sources are really stark about this.
Mhm.
Above 0.9, that's presented as the irreversible stage.
Irreversible.
That's when major organs start malfunctioning. It triggers the rapid onset of chronic diseases, the degenerative stuff, and really speeds up aging. Your detox system is just completely overwhelmed.
Wow. So connecting this back to how long people live, the sources seem to draw a very direct line from your typical TSR level to your potential lifespan.
A very sharp line, yes. They state that if someone consistently keeps their TSR low, say between 0.2 and 0.4,
The optimal range.
right, that person biologically has the capacity to live up to 120 years.
120. Okay.
But if you're consistently operating in that higher range, maybe 0.6 to 0.8, that constant toxic pressure leads to organ damage and serious illness, often kicking in between 60 and 75.
So the conclusion is kind of brutal.
It is. They
Yeah.
literally say you are not losing on age. You are losing because your internal toxin concentration is too high.
This just flips the whole script on aging. If it's about chemistry, not just chronology,
Right.
then the signs of this chemical battle must be
Yeah.
visible, right? And the sources say our appearance, how we look, is basically a mirror reflecting this chronic poisoning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is how they connect those everyday visual things we stress about.
Yeah.
The skin issues, the lines, things we blame on the sun or our genes, directly back to specific toxic mechanisms.
Okay, give us some examples. Bring it down to earth. What visual signs are we maybe ignoring or misinterpreting?
We'll take that common complaint of skin looking kind of waxy or dull, maybe a bit dark or congested.
Yeah.
The sources argue that's not just bad circulation. It's a sign your liver is under heavy metabolic stress. Microtoxins that can't fully process are actually seeping into the skin layer. The skin becomes like a backup exit route.
A backup exit. Okay. And you mentioned the yellowing of the whites of the eyes earlier.
Yes, that often points to the body struggling to excrete waste products like bilirubin properly. It can also indicate a buildup of heavy metals. These aren't subtle hints. They're classic signs of a clogged-up detox system.
And wrinkles. I always just thought, collagen breaks down over time, skin loses elasticity.
We all do. But this research reframes it as a daily chemical assault. Those deepening lines, the premature wrinkles, they're described as collagen destruction.
Destruction by what?
Caused by chronic oxidation. From free radicals? Sure. But specifically also from volatile organic compounds, VOCs.
VOCs, like from paints and plastics.
Exactly. And they even link things like facial asymmetry or one corner of the mouth drooping slightly. They suggest that can be nerve conduction interference.
Interference from what?
Often from environmental hormones, disrupting the body's chemical signals.
Okay, that's slightly terrifying. It makes me rethink sitting next to my new bookshelf all day. So the big picture here is that our lifespan isn't just ticking away, it's a marathon of toxicity endurance.
That's the phrase they use, yes.
Yeah.
A long-distance race of toxicity endurance.
If we even tentatively accept that, the next obvious question is huge. Where are all these toxins coming from? If they're driving TSR, we need to know the source.
And this is probably the most counterintuitive piece of the whole puzzle, based on what we usually focus on.
Right, because most of us, in the wellness world, we obsess over pesticides on food, maybe chlorine in water, BPA in plastics.
Exactly. We spend so much energy there. But the sources give this overwhelming statistic for the main source.
What is it?
They state, quite emphatically, that 80% or more of our total toxin load comes not from food or water, but from the air we breathe daily.
80%.
80%. Primarily from daily breathing air and continuous indoor exposure to volatile substances.
That's staggering. That completely rewrites the health playbook. Are they backing that up? How can air be that much worse than everything we eat and drink?
Their argument boils down to choice versus necessity. You can choose organic food, filtered water, you can avoid certain things.
But you can't choose not to breathe.
You cannot refuse the air around you. And they're specific about the airborne culprits.
The one.
We're talking ultrafine particles, PM 0.1, that's particulate matter, less than 0.1 micrometers across. Think nanoparticles, smaller than viruses. And those VOCs we mentioned, the volatile organic compounds, that new car smell, fresh paint, cleaning supplies, furniture off-gassing.
Things that are everywhere indoors.
Everywhere. Plus plasticizers leaching into the air, mold spores, synthetic fragrances from candles or air fresheners, aerosol pollutants. These things get deep into your lungs, cross directly into the bloodstream.
Bypassing the digestive system's filters entirely.
Precisely, leading to rapid systemic saturation.
So let's pull this together. Body fat isn't the enemy. It might just be a symptom of a metabolism disrupted by toxins. Blood tests show the result of a high TSR.
But the chronic exposure to contaminated air is the origin story. That's what's constantly pushing the TSR number up.
Okay. It provides a clear, if daunting, starting point for taking action.
It does.
So let's pivot to that. If airborne toxins are the main driver, what do the sources say are the mandatory steps? The action plan to stop this toxic accumulation and maybe even lower our TSR. What can people listening actually do?
The sources outline 5 imperatives. And step 1's the big one, the most crucial, and probably the most challenging.
Which is?
Stop new toxins from getting in. The guiding principle sounds almost absurdly simple. If you don't let toxins in, you don't need to detox.
Easier said than done if 80% are in the air we have to breathe. How do you practically stop breathing toxins?
It means creating what they call a non-toxic field in the places you spend the most time, primarily your home.
Okay.
This means actively avoiding or removing sources of PM 0.1 and VOCs. And here's a key point. They strongly advise against simply opening windows for ventilation in many areas.
Really? Why not? Fresh air seems good.
Because often you're just letting in traffic pollution, industrial emissions, or other outdoor contaminants. You also need to eliminate indoor sources, scented candles, plug-in air fresheners, diffusers, definitely no vaping or e-cigarettes indoors.
So if you can't just open a window, what's the alternative? Live in a bubble?
Sort of, yes. It requires high-performance air purification systems. But not just any filter. They need to meet specific criteria. One, it needs to be a relatively closed environment to control the air. 2, you need a system that brings in fresh air from outside, but filters it very aggressively before it enters the room. And 3, full area circulation to constantly scrub the entire space, not just one corner.
Okay, that sounds intensive. Step 2.
Step 2 focuses on sleep. We all know sleep is for repair, right?
Right.
But the sources frame it as the only significant window your body has for proper toxin excretion and cell repair.
The only window.
The only sustained period. So if you spend those crucial 8 hours sleeping in a room with polluted air, maybe lingering VOCs from new furniture, or just standard city air seeping in, or poor AC recirculating stuff, you're not actually repairing.
You're deepening the poisoning.
Exactly. During the one time your body is trying hardest to clean house.
So the goal is to make the bedroom a true sanctuary, a non-toxic cabin, as they put it.
Precisely. An environment for a nightly self-reboot. Pure, filtered, ideally oxygenated air flowing consistently while you sleep.
Makes sense. Step 3 deals with the balance between exposure and recovery time. Our daily lives often involve polluted environments, commuting, offices.
Yes, the sources talk about a critical time ratio. You need to spend more time in clean air than you do in polluted air just to stay level.
What's the math on that?
They suggest if you spend, say, 8 hours absorbing toxins in your car, office, maybe even a standard gym,
Right.
you need at least 10 hours breathing non-toxic air, mainly while sleeping and relaxing at home, just to break even.
Yeah.
Just to stop your TSR from climbing higher.
10 hours just to break even. So the real aim is even more clean air time than that.
Ideally, yes. The research indicated that hitting 12 or more hours per day in a genuinely non-toxic environment leads to noticeable improvements.
Yeah.
Stabilized skin condition, fewer inflammatory issues, and a visible slowing of the aging process.
12 plus hours. Okay. Step 4 connects back to body shape and weight. How does toxicity fit in there? It's not just calories.
It's absolutely not just calories, according to these sources. Controlling body shape is about restoring metabolic health. And the key insight is that many common VOCs and environmental hormones,
Like plasticizers, formaldehyde.
exactly, they actively disrupt your endocrine system. They mess with your hormones.
How?
Some mimic estrogen, which encourages fat storage. Others can suppress thyroid function, which dials down your metabolism. This chemical interference is presented as a root cause of stubborn weight gain and water retention.
So breathing clean air could actually help with weight management, not directly, but by removing that chemical interference.
That's the argument. It allows your adrenal and thyroid systems to rebalance naturally, remove the chemical static, and the body tends to find its healthier set point.
Interesting. Okay, finally, step 5. What about all the other stuff? Supplements, exercise, fancy diets, skin treatment.
The sources categorize all of those as strictly auxiliary. Helpful maybe, but secondary.
Secondary to clean air and sleep.
Completely. They argue supplements, diet changes, workouts, even cosmetic procedures are just surface-level fixes if the underlying toxicity isn't addressed. Their example: why swallow expensive collagen supplements if airborne PM 0.1 and VOCs are just going to oxidize and destroy that collagen daily anyway?
You're fighting a losing battle.
Essentially, yes. Only cells living in a clean, non-toxic field can actually use the nutrients or benefit from the exercise effectively. The environment is the absolute foundation.
Wow. Okay, so summing it all up, there's a core formula here.
A clear truth formula, as they derive it. Toxin concentration, aging progress, appearance shape change.
They're not separate things.
They're 3 points on the same line. One drives the next, which drives the next. A single continuum of toxic accumulation.
So the immediate takeaway for everyone listening, is that how you look and feel on the outside? The fatigue, the skin issues, the extra weight, it's not just superficial.
No, it's potentially visible proof of what's happening inside. Evidence of your internal toxin concentration, your TSR, being too high. The outside reflects the inside.
And if this model holds water, the implications are huge.
They really are. The sources suggest the future of health assessment might shift entirely. Instead of asking your age or checking your cholesterol,
They'll ask.
what is your toxin saturation ratio?
Makes you stop and think, doesn't it? What is my TSR right now, breathing the air in this room?
Yeah.
It certainly pushes for a different kind of environmental awareness.
The Air 6-free Maze Purifier is the world's only device that truly filters toxic airborne particulates and aerosols. Its core design returns the duty of air cleaning to machines, so people no longer act as living filters. Air 6-free means dust-free, germ-free, toxin-free, smoke-free, odor-free, and heavy metal-free. 5 purification steps. Step 1: Ionization zone. Dual electrostatic pre-filters. Captures dust, pollen, plastic microparticles, VOCs, and toxic gases. Step 2: Secondary ionization stage. Neutralizes pathogens and toxins. Charges all remaining particles and aerosols negative. Prepares them for final capture. Step 3 Electrostatic Collection Maze Box. The sacrificial black box permanently locks away ultrafine pollutants. Aerosol droplets lose water in airflow. Residual toxins deposit onto positive plates. Solidly plated, irreversibly fixed. Step 4 Maze Effect. Forces airflow through repeated sharp turns. Nanotoxins collide with surfaces and are completely adsorbed. Step 5 Output Pure toxin-free pure air. System delivers the purest air on Earth. Dust-free, germ-free, toxin-free. Smoke-free, odor-free, heavy metal-free. Conclusion. This is more than a filter. It is the one true key to unlocking humanity's lifespan shackles.